Hi everyone. So today, please welcome with me, Christy Shin, and she used to be registered nurse, turned into serial entrepreneur right now, and built $1 million online business from ground up. Thank you so much for joining me today, Chrissy.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited because I read through your website and I'm very like, wow, you have done a very amazing things. And I really resonate with you when you say that we should take action even though it's not yet perfect. I am like, yeah, I just excited to talk to you more about that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the only way to get going, right? Is to just jump in, feet first.
Yeah, indeed. So tell us more a little bit, like when you were younger until you are who you are right now, like how you get entered to entrepreneurship journey.
Yeah, I definitely didn't grow up, with this entrepreneurial, spirit in a sense of I hear so many stories of I started my lemonade stand when I was 7 years old, or I was selling, my mom's purses to my friends. That wasn't me. That wasn't my story, but something that I always had growing up, and I get it from my dad, is just a lot of ideas. My brain is always running. I'm always kind of looking at something and taking it in and analyzing it and thinking about how I could make it better or how I could save time doing it. And so I've always had that aspect. I didn't know that it would come in really handy as an entrepreneur. It was just kind of the way that I thought. And I didn't even recognize that I was like that, and that maybe everyone isn't like that. Growing up. It wasn't until I really became an entrepreneur and I started talking more about how I thought, and I resonated with other entrepreneurs, but not necessarily, other people. And I just kind of took the path that seemed the most reliable. I went to school and I became a nurse, and it seemed like, well, I could get a job right out of school, no matter if it's a recession or not. You always need nurses, and it is a good paying profession just out of school. I realized quickly, though, that it wasn't the lifestyle that I wanted. I was working nights, I was working weekends, I was working holidays, and it may have taken me years upon years to find something different, right? To be able to get that schedule, I'd have to get a lot of seniority. And looking at, while the pay was really good right out of college, I think I was making $25 or $30 an hour. The raises were very minimal, just like any other 9-to-5 job, a 25-cent raise, a 50-cent raise. And I was like, holy cow, I'm never gonna hit $1 million. I'm never, even if I go back to school. And so that for me was very quickly, okay, maybe there's something more. I want more, and I know that I'm worthy of more. And so how do I get more? And that was really my first step into exploring something else other than the profession that I went to school for. And that led me to entrepreneurship.
That's why. And how you started the entrepreneurship then?
So I was a nurse, so health was a big thing for me. Although I was into more health prevention, then, I really wanted to teach people how to stay out of the hospital than just how to get better when they got in. And that was just from my own journey of my own health struggles and finding alternative therapies to get better. Lots of natural supplements and this technique called muscle testing. And so I decided to get trained in this technique, muscle testing, so that I could have patients and help them, stay healthy and get better naturally. And I went to the training and they said, you can build $1 million practice. And of course my eyes lit up. I was like, $1 million practice, yes, that's what I'm looking for, right? And I was so focused on the financial aspect because I had a ton of school debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck in Chicago, which is very expensive, without someone supporting me financially. And so I was like, that sounds amazing. So I jumped in and I got started with it, and had really this subconscious self-sabotage where I would go to, kind of partner with a chiropractor, because a lot of as a nurse, you'd go in and you'd work in a chiropractor's office and you would see their patients and whatnot doing this. And every time it like seemed like I was going to maybe partner with a chiropractor, I dragged my feet. And like, I didn't do that next thing of following up. And so it was this subconscious self-sabotage. And I think the reality was, and I realized it in not too much later, that it was going to maybe bring that financial freedom, but not the time freedom that I wanted. Right. So if I'm seeing patients, I have to be in the office, for as many patients as I want to see. What if I want to just take a week off? Well, I can't see patients and I'm not going to get paid. My now husband and I talked about moving, which is now I'm in Atlanta. And it was like, well, if I built up this big practice and I moved, I'd have to start all over. And that just felt super overwhelming. And so I was quickly like, okay, this is not for me. A year of my life later and thousands of dollars later, realized like, okay, maybe this isn't the business that I should be starting. And just with an open mind, I was still doing my nursing profession, and network marketing fell into my lap. And while I said I wasn't going to do it at first, I quickly was like, oh, this is what that is? Okay, I could totally do that. And jumped in, and I built my network marketing business enough to when we moved to Atlanta, I didn't have to get my another nursing job. And in that process of building my network marketing business, again, my brain is always, how can I save more time? How can I be more strategic about building? And I remember I wanted to build fast. I wanted to quit my nursing job. When we moved, I didn't want to have to find a new job. So I was hustling and building this training along the process because I had people coming to me asking for training. And so I built a training so I didn't have to be face to face with every single person, and I could just direct them there. And then that in and of itself turned into its own business. And so now people from that company pay me to use the business training, the marketing material that I had started creating for my team. And now we have an entire team of people creating this material and providing that support to them. And so it was just, again, the way that my brain works in trying to solve problems, I'm sure you hear it a lot, work smarter, not harder. That strategy there led me and launched me into starting my own brand, which is a membership site. And that's now we're multi-million-dollar, which is really, really exciting. And then so just that success there, network marketing success starting my own online business. I was like, I have got to go and coach more people how to do this, because if I can do it, they can definitely do it. Like, it just takes a heart, it just takes passion and the desire to work hard and figure it out, and you can be successful. And so that's the long journey of how I got where I am right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let me ask you back, like before you able to validate the process, that until you're able to teach other people, do you find it's hard to like go through the process by yourself, or how you validate those process? Because you mentioned that you have built the training and then like duplicate that to other people, right? The same as online course, the same as membership, it's the same way of doing this thing anyway. But I find many people struggling about validating the process. So what would your intake on that?
Yeah, I mean, the process of being able to train someone else or coach someone else, I mean, I'm a full believer that you really just have to be one step ahead. And so and the only way to figure it out is to jump in. And of course, I 100% believe in getting guidance, getting a coach, I paid a marketing coach for 1 hour of his time, $150 of his time, to help me brainstorm on how I could leverage the community that I had built and get emails to then market this new business.
So, Krissy, you mentioned about duplicate the process, and then like literally means that we gonna start working on the business more, so that we have no need to be there teaching individually, teaching each person further along the way. But I found many people have the problem of validating the process to secure the result. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So, when you're getting started, I mean, there is no process sometimes. You just have to jump in and get started and kind of figure out the process along the way. I'm a full believer 100% in hiring a coach that has done what has done what you want to do, right? Or has experience in an area that you're not sure about, but it's going to be really valuable to your business. So when I started one of my brands, I didn't know that much about marketing. Again, I didn't go to business school. I was a nurse, right? So I had this idea and I wanted to grow it, but I hired a marketing coach for 1 hour for $150. And we came up with an idea on how to leverage the audience that I had built building my network marketing business. And so just 1 hour of his time, me seeking out a coach who knew more than I did in that area, ended up with 8,000 emails from a community that I had already put together over time, right? Over years. And then I used that email list to launch Grow Workspace brand. And, it's a membership site. So being able to leverage that email list, we had how many people did we have? Almost 1,500 subscribers by the end of month 1.
Wow.
4,000 subscribers by the end of month 4. And so, in terms of the process, it's just really getting started. It's seeking out people, coaches, like you, like me, who have done what you want to do. And it's okay if they're only one step ahead of you, right? Because if they've done it, and so as a coach, if you're struggling with I want to coach people, but where do I start? You just have to be one step ahead. Teach people what you've been successful with. You don't have to teach them all the things you're still trying to figure out, but you've been successful at something. And so teach that. And that's how you can kind of get started and start building your process.
Another thing that I like about we were talking offline was that we have the same school of thought, that we build a business that supports the lifestyle. So tell me more about that. I would love to hear it from your side.
Yeah, absolutely. The story that I shared in the beginning, talking about building this practice where I was going to see patients, and while it was going to create that financial freedom, I realized quickly that it wasn't, well, maybe not so quickly, a year's not very quick, that it wasn't going to fulfill the lifestyle aspect, the ability to work from anywhere I want, to take time off that I wanted. And so now everything that happens to you shapes how you think, right? And so because of that, I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is one of the most important pieces to getting your business started, is realizing and understanding what does your dream life look like? What do you want it to be? What are the hours that you want to work? How much do you want to be investing in it? And that will determine how you present the offers that you have, whether it's private coaching, group coaching, digital courses, putting out content, and then the support that you want. So if you want a lot of support, then that means you're going to want to start hiring a team from the get-go, as quickly as you can. And so I think it's just really important to know where you want to go in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, so that you can start to build your business from the very beginning to support that lifestyle that you want. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same position I was, where you're a year into your business and you realize, wait a minute, this is going to support me financially, but not the other aspects that I want, right?
But for each business that you have built, you notice that they are the same foundation. Am I correct?
Yeah, similar foundation in terms of coaching, other people how to build business. Just kind of different niches.
Right. So when I read your intro that I introduced to everyone here who is listening right now, you really build a business from ground up. That's very important though. Why I raised this up is because many people think that they are visionary and they thought that they're not going to do the work. Yeah. You laugh because you understand what you mean.
Yeah. I'm chuckling because it is a lot of work. And just because I want this lifestyle of, okay, so now in the Grow Workspace brand, which is separate from my business coaching brand, I typically work in that brand maybe 5 hours a week, maybe. When we have big projects going on and there's some more hands-on stuff, maybe I'll spend more time. But I chuckle when you say that, because that's certainly not how the business started, right? It was me and my sister, because I brought her in, we worked together. We were doing everything. And we were working nights and weekends, that whole nights and weekends and holidays. I mean, it wasn't working holidays and it wasn't that dramatic as being a nurse, 12-hour shifts, but there's a lot of sweat equity that was put into that. And that's so much of what people don't see. They see the exciting things, the celebrations of entrepreneurship, but they're not seeing all the hard work being put into it. And so, yes, there is hard work that goes into it in the beginning, but if you do it right with intention and strategy, you can 100% get to that place that you want, that lifestyle that you want, in not that much time. Like, it's not going to take you 10 years to get that. That business, Grow Workspace, has been around for, we're about to hit our 3-year anniversary, So like, it didn't take that long to build a team to support that brand to where I can be like, hey, you guys are doing amazing. And I'm going to be out here like coming up with more ideas and, making sure everything is happening and growing this business.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I mean, no one's talk about how hard it have to work and to get the thing that you really want, right? But I believe in playing long-term games more than anything else. I think many people online currently, they're stuck into the marketing hype, let's say like the fast money scheme and stuff, that they thought that invest this amount of money to this particular person can get me to where I want to be fast, even though they keep saying shortcut for your success, but it's not really is. They still require work to do anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure. For sure. And that whole, so I had mentioned before that I had leveraged that marketing coach to help me figure out how to leverage this community that I had spent years building my network marketing business. That took years, right? Like, if I didn't have that community, that Facebook group of 40,000 people to leverage and pull out 8,000 that I knew would really want what I had to sell them, if I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have had 1,500 subscribers in the first month. We wouldn't have had 4,000 subscribers by month 4. And so, everyone says, oh, it's the 5-year overnight success. And that is really what it is, because I spent years networking and interacting with people and building relationships and having another idea, and it blossomed into this Facebook community. And then I leveraged that. So, it can be a little bit like, I didn't even know the Grow Workspace brand and business was going to happen when I started doing all that stuff. But when I go back and I think about it, it's like, wow, actually I was building this brand for years without even really knowing. And so I know that can be like, for the listeners out there that are like, oh, that's kind of discouraging. Like, I wanted to make 6 figures in 6 months. Like, this is just the true reality, and like the tough love from a coach, that it doesn't really happen that way. But if you stay consistent and you put in the work and you're doing something that's aligned with you and that you're passionate about and that makes you happy, you can get there. Right?
Yeah, it's totally 100% possible. It's just a matter of time and right place, right people, right time. Like, it's always like that. Like, when it's right, it's just hit.
Yeah. And when you said that, right, people, right place, right time, it reminds me of, people say, oh, she's so lucky. It's like, well, luck is just hard work meeting opportunity. There's nothing lucky about it. It's like, I've worked hard. Like, I'm not lucky because I build $1 million brand or have, 6,500 subscribers. Like, I worked hard, and then there was an opportunity and I put the two together. Right?
Yeah, my mom's, I refer my mom's a lot. I think she have been coaching me in the right place, let's say. She always told me that be ready, always be ready, like prepare your qualification, prepare whatever you know that you really want to work towards. And when something happens, just take that opportunity, like exactly what you mentioned. And
I love
that's how you become lucky, right? Like
I
I
love
really
that.
believe that. Yeah. I really admired my mom so much in many ways that she taught me. So right now, tell us about your course and your offer currently, like how it's like working with you right now.
Yeah, so I do have a digital course called Build a Blissful Business, and
Wow.
it does take, yeah, it does take this whole concept of I'm here to help you build a brand and a business that you love and that your clients love too. So, this whole idea around building a business that fits your lifestyle, that's where we focus on. But it's all about building your brand. So learning more about what your brand message is, who your ideal audience is, what are their problems, what are the solutions you offer, how do you sell that to them in a non-sleazy, salesy way, and it make it super simple for them to say yes. So identifying more about your brand voice, the look. I've got special guests that come in, experts, branding experts. She teaches you how to make a mood board and a brand book, so that you can have the same visual look that you want your brand to feel like. So we cover that, and then I take you through social media. And once we have your brand foundation, step by step, so it just builds upon, each lesson builds upon one another, making it super simple. And then once you have your brand, we get it online. And I teach you how to present your brand on Instagram. You can, of course, use that for Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, so that you're attracting the people, your ideal clients, and not having to necessarily go out and find them and seek them. And then the last module is really about getting your website up and running. And so if you already have a website, it's so valuable to go in and see, okay, these are the things Krissy says that you need. I brought in a web expert who's teaching you about web navigation and how to lay it out to direct your ideal clients to the buy button. So it's great to, even if you have a website, to go through that and say, okay, did I do it correctly? Did I do it intentionally and strategically to get more people to click buy? So that's the course. I've had a lot of people go through it, people who have just started their business, people who have been in business for a long time and loved using it kind of as a rebrand tool for them. So that's been super cool. And then private coaching. My private coaching is super limited, but I'll be opening that up soon. And that is just meeting my students where they're at and helping them build a really intentional business with lots of strategy. So we're focusing on where they want to go and what they need to do to get there, and how they can offer what they have in a way that works for them and will sign them more clients or sell more courses, or help them start a course. So that's been really cool to help people. I just had one of my private clients sign another 10K client, which has been really fun to just watch and witness. So I'm loving that.
Yeah, and then in case anyone want to work with you, how can they reach out to you then?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook as the Krissy Chin, and then that's my website as well, thekrissychin.com. So you can find me in any one of those places. Send me a message, ask me questions. I'm here.
Yeah, and also the link will be in the description as well, everyone. So check that out. Thank you so much for joining me today, Krissy.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the show, you can subscribe here or here. And this is the previous episode. Check it out. See you next time.